Good Thursday evening. Welcome to BCP Live. Hi, I'm Joey McWilliams. I am glad that you are watching tonight. I appreciate you being along for the ride with me on another broadcast. We're well past the 100 mark now. And you know what? Things are changing just a little bit. School is getting back in session. And so I know you all have different things to do with your weeknights now than we were doing back in March and April and May. So I really do want to say thanks for watching tonight. And we've been talking about Southeastern a lot this week, and I just wanted to let you know I teased that we would have a special guest on Thursday night, and I was not making that up. We have a very special guest on tonight. I'm really excited to get to have Coach Tyler Fenwick from Southeastern's football team, the head coach of the Savage Storm. And, Coach, first off, thank you for taking some time with me on a weeknight.
Oh, man, no, thank you. It's good to just talk some Savage Storm football and talk with you and let's have at it.
Well, listen, this is one of the first times we've had a chance to get to visit, at least interview wise. I do a lot of the GAC previews and get to do a number of other things, and it seems like you're the football coach, and the football coach is always in demand. And I remember even the day that you were introduced on campus. I mean, I'm telling you what, cameras left and right, all kinds of people, and I got to wave just a little bit and say hi, and that was about it. So I'm glad to get some time with you myself tonight, even if it is a little bit later. You've been on campus now for more than a year. You have one season as the Savage Storm coach under your belt, so you're heading into year number 2. I know. Obviously, year 2 is usually a little bit different, not this different, though. So before we get too much into Southeastern as a whole, let's talk a little football right now. And are you guys practicing? There is still a possibility of fall football. We know that there's a lot of talk about the spring, too. What's going on with the Storm football program?
Well, we're still in our voluntary summer segment. So, fortunately, school starts on Monday, and we've had most of our kids moved in onto campus or back into town, and so we're seeing more and more kids that are here and doing some different stuff, some work. They're in the new weight room. The ones that are here, and it's just good to see these kids on. When they come by the office, or you see them on campus, or you see them walk around, and we're able to do some things that are just a little bit different, as far as working with them, just based on some new rules because of all the COVID stuff going on. So, but man, when they left back in March, it was just like, hey, you got to go. There was no goodbyes. We had no team meeting. It was, guys had already ready to go for spring break. And so it was hard because you couldn't have a team meeting and say, okay, hey, look, this is what's going on or whatever. It was just, everybody's got to leave. So, you didn't get that, that goodbye, and then just not knowing what was what was next. And, so in the off season, in that spring, we did have a lot of the Zoom meetings and all that stuff that we were allowed to do. And that was good to connect with guys and, try to continue to progress and build relationships and all that. So that was, we could do that, but just to see these guys in person and to see that, see the smiles on their faces and all that stuff has just been, it's been gratifying and it just feels good to see them again. So now we're all here and we're just kind of, waiting to see what's next.
You were talking about voluntary time, and I know this is, you probably would be winding down camp or around this time anyway, maybe a week or two prior to now, before they get into what they call, the countable time, that practice time, when you really you have a limited amount of days and even hours in the week with which you can work according to NCAA regulations in all of that. So you haven't even started that yet. That remains, 4 days after the first day of school, something like that?
We can. So we can't do anything with them next week because school starts on Monday, and then Friday we can start our 8-hour accountable period. So at that point, we can actually see who's in the weight room and who's doing what, and they're working out with Coach Fears, and then we get 2 hours. You get 8 hours, and then you get 2 of those 8 hours. You can do some skill instruction. You got to have groups of 8 where you can actually do some football stuff with them, and so that'll be good to just kind of get into the swing of things and just get into a routine. I think, when they were here back in, before spring break, as a college student, that's what you're used to. You get up, you go eat breakfast, and you go to class, and you go to workouts, and you have a regimented schedule, and then all of a sudden that's all gone, and they're all going different places, and they have different schedules, and some have stuff to do, and some don't do anything, and some of them get a job. It's all chaos, and you don't have that team structure that we've been building. So it'll be nice to get them back into a routine, get them back into the going to class and the workouts and all that stuff, and seeing them on a regular basis.
I know that every sport has its structure, and that's not to say not to put one sport against another, but I would imagine with a football team and with the large number of players on the roster that you have, structure has to be right up there at the top of the list. I mean, you just have to have that. Coach, I look at your backdrop right now, which is way cooler than mine, just have to say. We've kind of been joking a little bit about the backdrop here at the studio a little bit. There'll be adjustments in the future, but man, yours is cool. I think that is incredibly nice. Seth has taken us through the weight room and some of the improvements in Bloomer Sullivan Gymnasium, and my goodness, sir, that has to be something that these athletes are proud of.
Yeah, well, I think they did it right. It's bigger and nicer and than I would have ever imagined. I think they planned. They didn't cut corners. Coach Baxter and Coach Fears and the people involved. I mean, they made choices and changed things and back and forth, and it probably took longer than expected. But at the same time, I'd rather have it this way where it's done right. And all the technology that we've got in this place, that's just going to, take us to the next level. And it's interesting. When I was growing up, it's all about, and really not too long ago, but it's all about how much weight, that you can lift, and I can lift 600 pounds, and that's all great and everything, but it really is now coming down to how fast you can push it, or move it. And, the explosiveness and those are the things that we can measure now. And when it comes down to, one guy versus another guy, and, how quickly can you make that block, and how quickly can you get to this spot and things like that. And those are the things that we're training now. And so it's a lot different. And it's actually kind of funny to, just talking to some of the kids and talking to Coach Fears, our strength coach, is, it's like we're measuring he's pushing this 8.5, and he's going to, they're whatever it is. I don't even know the lingo, but, you just hear different numbers than what you're used to, when you talk about, the 500 pounds, the 600 pounds, and things like that. And so those are the things that Coach Fears is, as he explains it to me, as far as how the programs are going to work. And, when we get going, and the measurables and things like that. So that's different, and it's cool. And it kind of sets us apart from, probably a lot of the other Division II, if not, Division I schools in the country.
It is interesting, Coach. You think about some of these things, and generally there is an announcement with a new head coach, or often the head coach may announce his staff, hey, we're bringing in this offensive coordinator or this receivers coach or whatever. The strength and conditioning coach is getting his own headlines now because he's such a big deal in programs throughout the country.
Sure. Yeah, no, they're very important. And, with the rules where we can't be with them in the summer, you've got to have a good strength coach that knows what he's doing, and is able to, that you can trust, that's going to, get them bigger and stronger and faster and quicker and more explosive and all that other stuff. And, we trust him, and he and I have a good relationship, just talking about, things that we want out of our program that we need to implement to train the way we play. And that's all, obviously a work in progress. And now, there's things that we couldn't do in our old weight room, just because of the size and the numbers that we could put in there, and different things that we can do just about everything. Probably everything, in this weight room that we need to do to improve and to get better and all that stuff. So, very, very fortunate. Again, Coach Baxter did a great job, and just the patience of our athletes. I know they were frustrated, because they want to get in there and they want to get going, and so they're just excited for that it's here, and I think they'll be, they're happy that, they'll be happy that it's done right, and it's got all the bells and whistles that they can improve with.
We're speaking now with Tyler Fenwick, who is the head football coach at Southeastern. We've been talking a lot about Southeastern, Savage Storm in particular this week, but also the university as a whole. And we really want to promote our Savage Storm here on BCP Live and with the Bryan County Patriot. And Coach, you talk about the abrupt stop to the spring. I mean, we didn't get to have a spring game or anything like that. We're used to getting to see and getting a chance to, even 5 or 6 months in advance, hey, this is a preview of what it could be. You're in your second year, and Southeastern, I know, want to win a few more games in year 2, and I know that it's always a work in progress. And I coached before, not on your level. I don't even want to compare the two, but I know that coming into a program, when you bring in your program, your set of ideals and how you go about things, there's always a time and a period of adjustment. And so coming into year 2 now, it was a little bit different. First off, I want to ask, and I want to talk about recruiting really quickly. Number one, the weight room behind you, obviously, that's a great recruiting tool, and I think there are a lot of other positives now that we're seeing so much on campus, including the entirety of Bloomer Sullivan Gymnasium. Obviously, we spoke with Nicole and the volleyball team a little earlier. But secondly, talk about recruiting even in that. How do you recruit through a pandemic? And are we going to get to see some new names and faces on campus this year?
Yeah, well, we were able to recruit and get our signing class before the pandemic. So we were fortunate enough to do that. Feel like we really hit it on the head as far as the talent that we're bringing in with this class. I think we were able to go through last season with it, as our first year, and you really get a good evaluation of really what our roster is that that we've got, and what positions that we needed to add depth to, and design a plan so that we can start to build this program the way we want it to, and fill the holes that we needed to, and bring in transfers that we needed to, and those sorts of things. And I think we designed the plan and we executed the plan, and we built some really good depth at the positions that are going to need, that we need to help us now, and then also the positions where we need to build some young depth and develop. And that's, when I got here, that was really the philosophy, and that's the way it's been at the last place I was at. But is, we want to recruit freshmen, and we want to be able to develop them our way in the weight program, and get the frames that we're looking for, and get the body types and the position types and all that stuff. And, and then grow them, and then, bring in some transfers where we need immediate help. And build depth, which depth builds competition. And so we were able to go out and get a couple mid-year offensive line transfers that are going to add immediate help, and then we were able to get some secondary help that we needed where we were thin last year. So and then after that, I think our incoming class is they're long, they're big. They're athletic, they're fast. It's just, I really feel good about just the foundation that we've laid in our true, first class. And not to take anything with, our last class was good, but it was just rushed. And, we found some really good players, but, to add to that class and fill those needs, I think we started off these first 2 years building a really solid, good foundation.
And I know that's a big part of it. You have to work with that, and so many things on your plate, Coach, as the head coach. And I know you have a great staff around you too. As we're here on BCP Live, and just to take time really quickly, generally revolving door of folks that watch. Usually a good steady core, lots of folks coming in and out. So I do want to say again, I'm very thankful to have Tyler Fenwick, who is the head football coach of the Southeastern Savage Storm, on with me tonight on BCP Live. Lots of folks joining, and I know that I see a lot of different names on here. Usually I try to stop by and give a shout out. I can't get every name right now, but we'll make it up, I promise. But thank you to everybody for stopping in tonight and checking out the broadcast and getting to see our head football coach here in Durant. By the way, I promised new decoration, and I have not forgotten that. So I will be showing you the new decoration here in studio in just a moment. But just to even get to talk with Coach Fenwick a little bit more. Coach, you came to Durant from Missouri or Missouri. Now, Mrs. Patriot is from Warrensburg. So I know you're familiar with the state too. You spent a while up there, and I'll tell you this much for sure. This is actually interesting. We had vacation a couple weeks ago. We got to drive, and we went back up to Missouri and went to a place in the southeast part of the state, and actually going to it from Johnson Shut-ins. I don't know if you're from, if you ever,
I've heard,
be familiar with that. We had to drive through Rolla twice. Actually, we had to drive through it once. We chose to drive back through at a different time, but that was okay. So you're coming through from Rolla, and you were at Missouri S&T for, 6 seasons there, and last season there, 10-2, just brought the Miners really to a great place. And I know that that's what you're looking to do here in Durant. Talk about coming then into the Great American Conference, into Southeastern, specifically here in Durant.
Obviously the record wasn't what we wanted to, but we learned a lot, and we've been able to, sit and study a lot of, what we need to do. But, the conference, the GAC conference is, there's a lot of parity in the conference. It's a fun conference. It's, from a travel standpoint, we're kind of almost in the middle in a sense from a travel standpoint. And so there's a lot of like schools, but really good talent. And, you really, that's one of the things that we've got to, train our kids, is that every week you're going to be challenged, and the coaches are going to put together a really good game plan. And so you got to prepare, and you got to be on your A game. And, there are no softies in this conference. And I think over the years, I think the conference has gotten stronger and stronger, and they've been more committed. And I think, when you look at, the playoff regional rankings every year, there's always, 3, sometimes 4 that are, climbing into that, chance to get in the top in the rankings. So, that's it's exciting to be able to play in a conference like that. That brings those challenges. And going through this year, we were kind of able to size up ourselves a little bit and kind of figure out, not knowing firsthand about the conference, but just kind of how far off we are and what we need to do. And I really found that, I don't think we're that far off. I think we're a few mistakes away from, having a completely different season. So I think, physically we can play with anybody in this conference. I think that, athletically we can play with anybody in this conference. And, I think we played the top teams that ended up this year. I thought we played them pretty close. And so now we just got to find a way to become a team and eliminate the mistakes that we were making, and become a smarter football team as far as just the scheme and eliminating penalty, just mistakes, things like that. So we're not that far off, and I'm excited and to whenever it is that we get to play again. And our kids they're excited, and I think we got so many guys that are coming back from last year that experienced those things, that they're going to learn from. And I think that's the goal, is to take all that stuff and say, okay, that was not a great season, but how much we can learn from that, and how much we can take the next step because of, how we study that. So, whatever these next, few months look like, or whatever, it's going to be exciting to get back and, start hammering out those, those little details.
Coach, I'm thankful that you're here tonight. We're visiting with Coach Tyler Fenwick, the head coach of the Southeastern Savage football team. And I just a couple questions to wrap up, because I'm very, again, thankful for your time tonight, and I appreciate that you've given it to us here on BCP Live. You may have answered this already, and I'm working through, and I think you may have answered one of my questions, but this is because of the uncertainty of the play, and whether there will be a season in the fall or not. I realize the GAC, by the way, is one of the lone holdouts of Division II that has not really said yet, push things back into the spring. And honestly, I'm proud of my conference for holding out as long as it can, even if the choice has to go the other direction. And I'm praying for leadership. They need to make good decisions, wise decisions, whatever they may be. Let it be the wise decision, even in that. But GAC, the MIAA, and really, we haven't heard anything, definite from those. In light of that, then, we don't generally around now. We would have already been having, preview series and talking about this. Preseason polls would have already come out. So I know that there's no preseason poll that has Southeastern, whatever it may be. Do you think that the Storm may well, hang on, before I ask that question, I think you have a good fan base here, and I think the fan base is growing, and I think with the town and the county and all the growth that we're seeing here, we're growing a fan base too, and you have some really hardcore fans. And so in light of that, then, do you think we may surprise some people this year, and what then may we see from this team if and when it hits the field?
I hope we are able to surprise some people. I mean, that's the plan. I think I have, as we talked earlier, a lot of the guys are back. We were a young football team last year, and I look back and when I watch film and I go, gosh, that guy's got 3 more years and that guy's got 2 more years, and we played a lot of young guys. We got a lot of guys that didn't have a lot of game experience, that now have game experience. They know what it's like to play a full season against the GAC opponents. And I've always said that I've always believed that there is no substitute for experience. I mean, you have to play the game, and you have to work out the kinks, and you got to work out the different stuff that happens in games that maybe you don't practice as much, and all of a sudden it comes up and you make that mistake and you go back and you learn from it. And our kids have, I mean, I'll tell you, we found every way possible to screw things up last year. And I mean, it's the way it is. And, when you lose, you lose by 1, you lose by 2, by 3, by 4, those close games that were just things that we just got to learn how to finish. And we've done a lot of studying, a lot of research on why, and not even just so much from schematically. It's really, it's just, okay, the youth of it all, and certain guys that we ended up having to play because of all the injury bug that we had. And when you lose guys like Malik Hall and Jared Bell and Roderick Kirby and CJ Shavers and Sky Lowe, I mean, the list goes on, that there are guys that didn't play most of the season last year that are highly talented players. And so it gave a lot of opportunities for our young redshirt freshmen to play a lot of snaps last year. And so just within that, with getting those guys that were injured back, and then also playing guys like Cameron Tate, Scooter Baker, at linebacker that had to take reps and get those quality, good experienced reps. We're going to be so much deeper at those positions. And we had our secondary. We had four guys that played just about every snap and didn't have the depth to give guys a break and all that stuff. And it, so we're excited about, just kind of where we're headed. And, we're not sitting here saying, our record, this was our record and we got to get rid of everybody because we're not good enough. We're saying that, gosh, we've got so many guys that are coming back that have played this and that are really good football players that we've now developed a whole year into the weight room. And, our guys, before we left, they are already, they're talking about, they already know the schemes, they know the terminology, we're able to talk the same language now. And so that's a lot of fun when you can talk the same language as your players, rather than, it's fun to teach them, from ground zero. But it's a lot more fun when you're speaking the same language and you're talking the X's and O's and all that stuff. So, I think the future looks good.
Coach, I agree with you. But there's a time when you have to leave ground zero too. And, you have to move on. So, yeah, it's a great thing. And I appreciate what you say too, because I know watching Division II, and I know you're a very experienced coach, but just what you were talking about there, when players have to take too many reps and there's not enough depth, 11 games becomes a long season. You think you're just going to watch them once on Saturdays, it's just 11 games. You wish it were more, but I know for those players in the trenches, 11 games can be a long season if you're playing snaps. So I'm glad to have the experience, and then you were talking about all that depth and the strength there. So that's that's very encouraging for a Storm fan. So I'm excited about that. And I know there are a lot of other Storm fans that have been are watching right now. Well, Coach, then I want to give you the last word in our time together tonight. And, what would you say to the Storm fans and the folks that are just casual BCP Live viewers tonight that, hopefully we get to see you in the fall, if not, then the spring, but what would you say to all the folks?
Yeah, I think we've got a great community here in Durant. I've been here a year and a half and just met some really good people, and I feel like I'm starting to integrate myself into this community, becoming this community, and hang with us. And whenever this thing gets going, whenever they say we can play, I can guarantee you our kids are going to be ready to play. They'll be prepared. They're going to be bigger, stronger. They're going to be faster. They're going to be more knowledgeable. And they're going to be fun to watch. There's a lot of talent on this football team. Our receiving core is ridiculous. I think our quarterback situation is fantastic. We've shored up our offensive line. We've got depth at running back. Just everything. Defensively. I think we were a very good defense last year, and I think most of those guys are back and they actually know what they're doing now. And so that's always fun. And, so I think we're going to be exciting, and we'll be fun, and they're going to be ready to play. So, looking forward to whatever happens next. And, we take it one day at a time and keep preparing as if we're going to play October 3rd and until whatever happens next. And I know those that'll come out, I'm sure, pretty soon. And, like you said, we're one of the few conferences that hasn't made a decision yet, and I think that's a tribute to the leadership and the conversations that are going on to make sure that we're doing the right thing and that everybody's on the same page and has a plan. So excited for that.
I am too. Well, Coach, thank you again. Listen, I can't say enough about your backdrop tonight. It's not just one of those green screen things. Coach is right there in the facility with the great and if you can see, I don't know, folks, if you can see it as really that well. They're not just any old weights. These are blue and gold and white, and even the weights themselves give it a classy feel, and the whole place just looks classy. So I think it's incredibly cool to get to see. Yeah, that's nice. So, Coach, thank you so much for taking time with us today. We're looking forward to cheering you on whenever you take the field. We're looking forward to a good season. And on a personal note, man, I appreciate having you here. I think you're a good person, and I'm glad that you're leading the program, and good for the town, good for the university, for the football program itself. And I'm thankful for you, so I appreciate you taking time with me tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Joey. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Our family's happy to be here, and looking forward to whenever football season and getting together with you again. Thanks.
We'll do it. We will definitely do it. All right, I'm going to let Coach go there. It's Coach Tyler Fenwick from Southeastern Oklahoma State University, the Savage Storm, the football team. Wow. That was fun. That was absolutely fun. I hope you got a lot out of that, because he gave out a lot of information. And, I have the chance it's a privilege. It really is a privilege to get to do the GAC previews, the countdown to kickoff, countdown to first serve for volleyball, and, the whole 9 yards, basketball, baseball, softball, all that stuff. And Michael Westbrook and I do that. Some of you all know Michael, fantastic guy too, good friend of mine. But it's a privilege, and I don't ever take that lightly. I have to tell you, just getting to visit with people like Coach Fenwick, it's an honor. It really is a privilege. It's an honor. But he gave out a lot of information tonight. So if you want to know a little bit about the football team, and I wasn't sure. I never wanted to press Coach on things when we start talking about names, dropping names or all that. And he gave us a lot of names to look for, and just a lot of things about this. I got a lot out of it. I appreciate it, and I hope that I get the draw then when we start doing countdown series again. I hope I get the draw to actually get to visit with him again, because I already have a couple of questions ready. So anyway, all right, a couple of things. Yeah, we're near the half-hour mark, so I know we're not going to other broadcasting. It's all right, but I won't keep you too long tonight. Now, if you have been following along, and if you're a regular BCP Live viewer, then we are not doing 6 nights a week anymore. We've been doing 3 the last 2 weeks, and we've been doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I think that is the plan through the month of August, is to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, our 3 nights a week. We're getting ready for, high school football season. I know that one of the Little Patriots is in the band. So, we definitely want to keep our Friday nights open there. And you do too, because we want you to support our local teams. So definitely we don't want to be giving, if we can keep from it, we don't want to be giving broadcasting that's conflicting with supporting our local teams. By the way, lots of local softball and baseball teams that have been hitting the diamond around here. Bryan County teams, the Calera softball tournament going on right now, and it will continue through tomorrow and Saturday. And I know that there were some local teams involved in that. I think I saw and I want to try to put something on the Patriots today. Caddo, last I saw, Caddo defeated Colburn in softball 8-0. So there's your up-to-date score on that. So anyway, all right. Just so you know. Oh, okay. All right. I promised a decoration. So Dottie, anyone, if you're watching tonight, here's tonight's decoration. So I broadcast sports. There we go. And not only now do I have my new Southeastern mug. I told you I was going to put my money where my mouth was. I have my new Southeastern mug, but also it's like the OSU mug because I am an alum. That's right. So I've got some. I went out to the Southeastern bookstore and wanted to find something that's cool. I've got another idea or two I'd like to go ahead and put up now. But we do know, again, the Emerald Quest Studio. I think that's what we're landing on as a name here, the Emerald Quest Studio, because we do Midwest Sportsnet broadcast from here and Southeast Sportsnet broadcast from here and BCP broadcast from here. So we're just going with the Emerald Quest Studio. It's going to be seeing some changes in the next few weeks. So this will be a part of it. Okay, we're going to allow this. Dottie says we're going to go ahead and allow this. And I like this. See, I like that. That is cool too. I bought it. All right. If you can still hear me, then I'm going to go ahead and I'll start wrapping things up tonight. But do want to say Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So, and I thought, here's the deal on this. I thought that the signal looked really, really good. Isn't it nice that it stayed with us the entire time while Coach Fenwick was on the air? Isn't that great? I mean, seriously, praise God. I mean, if it's going to go off, and it went off, but if it's going to go off, we got to watch the whole thing where Coach Fenwick was here, and we didn't have any problem like that. So that is great. Okay. All right. I do want to say thanks really quickly. Let me say thanks to some of our sponsors here. We have, among others, Justice Insurance, Prices Printing, Taco Casa, which, by the way, I saw one Blake Wright has gave some comments tonight. So, Blake, thanks for watching. Van Meter Realty, Alliance Health Durant, Bushwhackers, Corner Drug, The Country Framer, Alvina, Mike. Man, I'm glad you guys watch. You make my day. I really appreciate that. Gordon Funeral Home, Heartbeat Realty. Yes, Angie, I saw your name show up on there a little bit earlier tonight, too. Thank you very much. KFC, Shamrock Bank, and Jason Manis, and all of the little Shamrock emojis that make my night every time. Dude, you've got to keep doing that. Seriously. I mean, it makes me smile. It really does make me smile. Taco Mayo, Waffle Shop, Pro Image. Daryl, and I'm glad that I did see that you responded. I just wanted to let you know I did get that last text. I appreciate all the work. We're trying to get some more decoration here behind me too, so I'm getting some things from Pro Image. Castile's Tire, saw Billy just a day or two ago. Appreciate them. DW and Calera, Friends of the Library, and Holmes Coffee Murray Funeral Home. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors. All right. I know you lost me for just a little bit, but praise God, you didn't lose me during the whole time with Coach Fenwick in here. And the signal looked good tonight. So I told you I have a plan. Actually, the plan's only started. I've got a couple more things to put in motion on that plan, but that's all right. Okay. Anything else tonight? Man, lots of folks watching. Allie Thomas, if you're still on, thanks for watching. Alvina, Kim, I saw that you were on tonight. I saw you come up. And Michelle, Mrs. Patriot on here. Angela Fenwick, that last name sounds familiar. Thank you very much for watching tonight. Coach Fenwick did a fantastic job, absolutely fantastic job. And Jason and Connie, Mrs. Patriot on there as well. Blake, man, I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping in. And also Janice, thank you for watching. Man, that makes my night. I'll throw this one up. Mrs. Patriot looks good in green. So the name of the studio having emerald in it is appropriate. That's great. I'll tell you the story behind Emerald Quest someday. But that's the name of the business. So there is that. Let me throw this one up there really quickly. Blake, who is watching tonight, hey, thank you, Blake. And I appreciate that. You're doing a great job at Southeastern. And also here from Seth Dutton, who was watching tonight. We've got great support from fans, donors, and Savage Storm athletic partners. You guys are awesome. So there we go. All right. And of course, it wouldn't be a Blake Wright text if there weren't emojis. Don't know if you've ever texted Blake or, had a conversation with Blake, but, I have to tell you, it's just, I would think, like if you ever have a conversation with me, text over the phone, my children know if it's not punctuated properly, sentence structure, capital letters, punctuation. I rarely use emojis. So, if I threw a bunch of emojis into a text, my kids would be like someone's, robbed my dad and taken his phone. And that's fine. But the flip side of that is having a conversation with Blake. Occasionally he uses words. So that's just fun. Anyway, all right. Love Blake. Blake is a fantastic guy. I actually did get to visit with Blake today too. So Jason, ready for some Savage Storm sports, and you and me both. All right. Nearly 40 minutes tonight, so we went off the air for about that long. We came back on the air. That's all right. Okay, Teresa, if you're still on, God bless you. Thank you and Zeph for watching tonight. And to everyone else, if you, by the way, any Southeastern admin watching tonight, appreciate you guys and appreciate you letting me get to visit with Coach Fenwick and Coach Solom Mitchell. And we're going to keep on talking Southeastern too. Again, nice new decorative mug. I like this part too. So that's all cool. All right, wrapping it up. We have a lot more for next week, and school not going to start next week. It'll be a week after that, but we do have some more time next week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, keep us in mind. 9:00 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here at BCP Live. We will be on Facebook, and we will also be on YouTube. And by the way, for the few of you who are still watching as we wrap up tonight, do want to say to give this plug, shameless self-promotion. If you have not subscribed to Midwest Sports Net yet on YouTube, please do. The subscriptions are growing, and got an interesting videos coming out talking sports there on Midwest Sports Net. So please do subscribe to that. So be wise. Be wise. Don't have wisdom? That's all right. Ask God. He'll give you wisdom. Secondly, use discretion. Lots of things are going to come across your plate, even before Saturday. You have a whole nother work day before the weekend rolls around. Going to be a lot of things that come across your plate. Use discretion. Take advantage of the opportunities that God has given you. Use the discretion that you have. Make good decisions. And finally, do not walk in fear. Don't do it. You know why? You don't have to. It doesn't matter how much fear is being peddled from the national media, from local social media, whatever the case may be. And there's fear that's peddled from local social media too. Don't think there's not. Don't be afraid. You don't have to walk in fear. You don't. So don't. Respect situations. Be wise, but do not walk in fear. All right? All right. Think that's everybody? All right. Man, you guys are awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I just want to say, God bless you. Teresa, that just came up. Same thing to you. God bless you. You guys have a great weekend. We'll talk some more sports, and we'll talk other stuff next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 o'clock. God bless you. Have a great weekend.